It's about the $70 trillion of wealth is going to be transferring, and half of them is real estate and half of them is business.
Yeah. Don't get me started on this one because I got a long conversation.
You can buy a house for $62,000.
Oh, not here in California for sure.
But in business, 1 + 1 becomes like
10. And I keep telling him, you are not going to own any of our properties. Maybe my daughter will own it. My son is here, by the way.
Teach the fisherman to fish instead
Correct.
of giving you fish.
It's just fun doing real estate. Every day is different.
I think the home service still anti-crisis proof.
Sign me up, man. I want to start my own home service business just talking to you for the past hour.
Welcome everyone, I'm Sardor Umrdinov. Today we're going to be discussing with my friend Jason about investment, real estate, business. He's expert in the real estate and flipping. Jason, welcome to have you here.
Oh, thanks, Sardor. I'm super excited. When you called me last week, I was like, oh my God, we're doing a podcast. I miss doing this. Just because the conversations we've had ever since I've known you has always been great conversation. I can't wait to tell the whole world, you know, my story and I want to learn more about, the home services side and how you can do roll-ups and how you can grow your business. I think there's opportunity there, and I hope I can give value to the audience with real estate and all the things that we're doing. What we're focused on for the next few years, not just in real estate, but on the healthcare side.
I think it's going to be interesting for a lot of viewers here, which direction to go. Should I go to the business direction or should I go to the real estate direction? Or should I go both, right? Like, I'm sure by watching these videos, you guys are going to learn a lot and make your own decisions, which path is correct for you. Okay, Jason, tell me a story. Like, are you born in US or you came here first generation, second generation? Right?
So I came here when I was 16. It was a soap opera story where I grew up with my dad, knowing the fact that my stepmom was my real mom, wasn't my real mom. So I grew up for years, my whole life, first 15 years of my life, that my stepmom was my real mom. And then 1996, so you guys probably know my age now. 1996, my real mom came from the United States, visited me in the Philippines and say, hey, I'm your real mom. Would you like to go with me to the US? And, just like any other countries, everybody wants to go to the US, right? Start a new opportunity.
So you moved here when you were 16?
Yeah,
basically.
Pretty much. Yeah, went to high school here. Grew up here in Southern California, and I don't think I can ever leave Southern California. This is home for me. Right? That's why, I'd rather do my real estate business here, even though it's better out of state. But come to realize, home is home. We know everything about Southern California.
How did you get to real estate?
Oh my God, real estate. We used to own a couple of restaurants. We own a ramen restaurant and a sushi restaurant.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm not even a chef. But I know I love food and I love serving people. I love customer service. I love just making people happy. So I did that for a few years. And during the pandemic, the restaurant business kind of went down. I got into real estate in 2021 and I've never looked back. Sold our restaurant, shut down one and we sold the other one. And now we're, going full on real estate, and I don't want to go do anything else because I love what I'm doing. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Can you tell me, I have no idea about real estate. Only thing I know is like I bought my house, that's it. But other than that, I don't invest in real estate. Can you share more knowledge, wisdom, and about the real estate, how everything works?
I can tell you, that's a really good question. So when I got started in real estate, I literally did everything. But before I did everything, I took a lot of mentorship program, joined a lot of mastermind, I joined a lot of community, really invested on myself, on education and other people.
So you believe it's better to invest in your education first before blindly going?
It's plain and simple, right? If you want to be a good engineer, you want to go to school as an engineer, right?
Yeah.
If you don't go to school in engineer, you're going to have to work
Yeah.
10, 15, 20 years to really learn everything
But
about
the real estate or business, they don't really teach in school, right?
Yeah, they don't teach you in school. That's one thing. So I was hungry in real estate, so I took a lot of that. So I've literally learned from wholesaling real estate to fix and flip and owning rental properties, buying creative financing properties. And then that's what led me to where I'm at now, which is I've done so many transactions in the past few years, just on different categories of real estate.
Hey guys, don't forget to like us, subscribe us, follow. You're gonna find all of the links in the description below. How you did your first one?
So my first one was a fix and flip. So we did one in LA. It was pretty scary. I did it with 3 of my best friends. I was like, oh shoot, we made almost $60,000 on this deal.
Can you give me the details of like how?
So,
you did
we found a deal through a wholesaler, and then we analyzed it. We weren't really good at analyzing deals, but it looked like the spread is there.
How much you bought it for?
We bought it for $500,000.
500,000 was a deal.
Was the deal.
How much you had to come up with money?
We put 10% down payment. So
$50,000
we
you
bought
put it on?
50,000 plus closing costs, about 60 grand that we
Yeah,
spent.
yeah.
I mean, we had a contractor, right? The idea here is to really have other people do what they're good at,
Yeah.
do what they do, right?
Yeah.
So we would go in on the weekends, Saturday or Sunday, for 4 weeks and help out a little bit, right? So we kind of learned a little bit about that. We spent about $50,000 on renovation, and I think we sold it for about $675. So we made about $50,000-$60,000 on our first deal. And now you got to think about it, you got to split it in with 3 other people, right? I mean, honestly, we probably worked maybe 30, 40 hours total, and when you say work, it's not hard work. You're like, go do this. So we were all working. I was still running my restaurant at that point. And, I decided, I told my boys, like, hey, I want to do full time in real estate. So everything was history from there. And, it's been a great experience. There's ups and downs, right? Just like any business,
Yeah.
failures and successes.
So first one you did it with your friend, with the partners.
Correct.
Have you ever did like yourself? Like, oh, you always the partner.
100%. I did out of state flips. I did them.
When was your own deal?
So my first deal by myself was out of state.
Okay.
So I did one in Michigan.
Did you visit that place?
Yeah. So I was wholesaling at that time. So I was getting a lot of deals. I get to pick which one is a good deal, which one's not a good deal, right? So I found one in Michigan, and I'm a type of person where I would just take charge. If it makes sense and it feels good and the numbers are there, I would do it. Right.
Yeah.
So no matter how hard it is, we'll figure it out. As an entrepreneur, we're not too analytical, so we'll figure it out. So that was probably one of the hardest things, because we flew to Detroit, Michigan, and the house was like 2 hours away from there. I brought my contractor with me. It was a trip because he brought his toolbox with tools, flew in a plane, brought our tools with us, and then we did the rehab, find a couple of painters here and there. Man.
How much was the deal?
So we bought it for $62,000.
Like everything.
Everything.
It's a house? Or
It's a house.
you can buy a house for 62,000?
Oh, not here in California for sure. You'll get a shed for $62,000. Yeah, we bought it for $62,000. This great thing about wholesaling, you get to find, owners and sellers that are distressed and motivated, right? I was actually worth over 100 grand, but I was able to get it for $62,000. I was able to solve his problem by me buying the property. When we got there, we spent about $25,000 in renovation. And then we sold the property for $150,000.
Okay, how much you made it?
We made another $50,000 there.
Got it. And
Easy.
how long it takes?
I was there for a whole week. Granted, my first out-of-state flip, we were working 16-hour days. I thought coming from a restaurant was difficult. Working 16 hours in a restaurant. Here was like hard labor, right? But it gave me the confidence to like, hey, if I can do hard labor and then plan accordingly and not have to put in the work, I could
when
make
you
the
do
same
a
amount of
flip-
money.
When you do a flip, what kind of hard work what you do?
So in the beginning, I was helping out doing the demolition.
Oh, so you did demolition.
Yeah, ripping out the carpet, going to Home Depot, a lot of the grunt work.
You kind of are a general contractor yourself.
More like just a subcontractor. Not yet. I wasn't there yet. But, I wanted to learn the business. I wasn't really the handyman kind of guy,
Got it,
right?
got it.
But here, I have to learn. So I got dirty. My hands got, bloody, cuts here and there. But at the end of the day, we got the job done. We were there for a whole week, 16-hour days. And after all expenses, we made about $50,000. So I continue to do that, every single month. I would pick one up either locally or out of state. And then little by little, I kind of got out of like the out of state flipping, right? Because, when you have a family of, I got two beautiful kids and a wife, you want to be able to be with them. I didn't come into real estate to not be with my
Not
family.
with this family, correct.
I was looking for the time and financial freedom, after you build it.
Yeah.
And then, it's like me going back to a restaurant. If I continue to do these out-of-state flipping, essentially you can have it done by other people, which we kind of mastered a little bit, finding boots in the ground, to help you manage the project.
Yeah.
But I think knowing the fact that Southern California has a lot of opportunity, I stayed here in California.
So then you started only doing it here, right?
Locally, it was Arizona, it was Las Vegas, in Southern California.
But of course, it requires more capital to do those.
More capital means we had to raise capital and pay our investors, after we sell the property.
When you did a deal in California, you did with your own money or with other people's money?
I started to realize you can't scale your business by using your own money.
Yeah.
So I would use other people's money, which is other people's, savings and investment that they're trying to do.
And when you use other people's money, like how much of the money you have to give them back of the returns? Like
A few years ago, we would, the standard is, 10 to 12%, right?
Yeah.
Because people weren't really, they don't know much about anything higher than 5% return is, people are happy. So we were paying about 10 to 12% of, return their money annualized. So, once we get the house sold, we pay them back right away. And now they keep coming back for, other projects.
Got it. So basically you pay them on the percentage wise, not the profit share. Right?
Not the profit sharing of the property when we sell it. Yes, correct.
Okay. And whenever you raise capital, how much you raise? Like 50, 150,000 or like what?
Yeah, so, lots of learning when you raise capital, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you raise capital, $10,000, one person, right? And then you come to realize, now you have 10 people for 100,000, then you got to report every single month.
Yeah.
And then one person needs the money right away and we're not done with the project yet. So it kind of gets chaotic in a little bit. We kind of raise the bar little by little, 25,000, 50,000. Sometimes one investor would cover the whole deal. It just really depends on.
So what was your minimum amount you raised and what was the highest amount you raised?
Obviously, the minimum amount was $10,000.
Got it.
The highest money I've raised, one person in like less than a week, I believe, is $200,000.
If someone is getting to the real estate, they can actually start with raising 10,000 from individuals, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Then eventually you kind of go up to the 200,000.
I like to at least show people I've done it.
Yeah.
I've had success.
Yeah.
I've used my own money, right? Skin in the game. It's always
How do you
important.
raise capital? Like where do you raise capital?
Friends and family.
Friends, family?
Friends and family. Not a lot of people have the resources like we do, right?
Yeah.
Opportunities, unless you're in the stock market and you've been doing this for a long time. So
So
obviously,
like, let's say if I'm your friend, how you would raise capital from me?
hey man, I got a great opportunity for you, man. Like, I know you've been asking me on, what about real estate? How you're doing. Hey, if I can give you a return of your money
Yeah.
in like less than 6 months, and we back it up with the real estate, so it's very secure. Would you be interested? Because you know what, it's all about the energy you're giving people, right? Because if you give them the bad energy, it's like they won't go for it, right? We are raising capital right now. We are definitely we're opening up 2 facilities. One will be a drug rehab center, a treatment center in Murrieta, and the other one is it's in Inglewood, which is going to be an adult residential facility for the mentally disabled adults. We are really laser focused on residential facilities just because that's in dying need right now in California. And, one, it's in need by the California. And second, you have a purpose. running a corporation, you're helping a business, helping the community, right?
Yeah.
Solve a problem, the housing problem we have here in California.
Yeah.
So those are our main focus right now, just real estate and healthcare, which is the residential facility side. Hey guys, this is Jason Santos. You can reach me on Instagram at Jason SoCal Investor, or you can email me at jason@fairpriceforyourhouse.com. I'll talk to you soon.
What different type of real estates out there? Apartment complexes, office, industrial, commercial.
Correct.
Can you kind of give me like a breakdown as much as you can, then tell me what do you really focus on?
So let's start with the investing side, right?
Yeah.
So in investing side, you can be an investor, which is a silent partner. You can be an investor and someone like me would raise capital. I find investors like you, the ones to make money, safe money, right?
Yeah.
Which is return. But there's really nothing safe, in any investing. So I never really promise anything that, 100% guaranteed. So that would be the investing side, working with other investors that's doing active income in real estate, which is flipping. Okay. And then there's another side of the real estate where you can wholesale real estate. Wholesale real estate is when you find a seller that is motivated, you lock it up under contract for a really good deal.
Yeah.
For example, 500,000, and you find a fix and flipper to buy that property from you. You're only assigning that contract to them for 550,000.
Basically, you're just flipping the
Flipping papers.
paper, correct?
You're really flipping paper. So 500,000, I buy it from a seller on a contract, and then you find an end buyer, which is a fix and flipper,
Yeah.
and then sell it for 550,000. And that $50,000 spread would be going to you when you close escrow when they buy the property.
Got
So
it.
that's wholesale real estate.
Okay.
And if you want to be a real estate agent, you can buy and sell real estate on the market.
Yeah.
When you wholesale, it's off market most of the time. That would be the active income side, right? And then you have the passive income, but don't let the passive fool you because it's never really passive. You still require you to work here and there, right? So you can own a single family or a duplex or a fourplex and get it rented out, right? You either manage that property like we do, or you have a property manager to manage it for you. Or when you get there, you want to be able to upgrade and go to, managing, buying a property that's a multifamily,
Yeah.
which is like 10 unit, 20 unit. At that time,
That's what the Grant Cardone does, I believe, right?
that's exactly what Grant Cardone does. I think majority of people start from single family, and then they come to realize it's a lot more headache, or not headache, but it's more difficult, a lot more work to manage multiple properties
Yeah.
versus managing a 20 unit in one building, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot easier. So we are not there yet. We're still on a single family side, smaller multifamily, which is up to 4 units. But that's where the multifamily is. And then there's the commercial side of the business, which is for, office buildings and warehouses, or creative spaces, where you do your podcast and, have, different agents to
Or shopping malls, right?
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the side.
That's a commercial guy.
That's the side of the real estate. And then, the residential side, which is the facility that we're opening up.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of opportunity here in California with the baby boomers, retiring. I believe it's still a big percentage. Over 50% of the homes are being owned by
Yeah.
the baby boomers,
It is.
right?
Yeah,
And this
I
is
think-
our parents, your
Yeah,
parents,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
their age.
I think the statistics was when we did the statistics was our 95% of our customers are baby boomers who owns a single family home,
Yeah.
because like the millennials are just getting there. Gen Zs, they don't even own a house. Let's talk about aging population and wealth redistribution.
A lot of the wealth transfer is happening right now, just because the baby boomers are ready to retire, with their business. And a lot of them are, getting older, so they need to go to a facility, right? So real estate will be more available for them to sell
Yeah.
to a lot of real estate entrepreneurs.
And I think it's about the $70 trillion of wealth is going to be transferring, and half of them is real estate and half of them is business.
Yeah. And being the right place at the right time, I truly believe the real estate, if you want to own real estate now, right now is a really good time because a lot of them, there's going to be a lot of transfer of ownership, from our older generation to the baby boomer side. And then them owning an operation of their own business.
Yep.
I've been seeing a lot of businesses for sale.
Yeah, because they have no succession plan.
Yeah.
And COVID showed that. And during the COVID, they just shut it down because their kids, they don't want to take over the business. They want to do TikTok.
It's a big percentage that I think like 70-80% of their kids don't want to take over their business.
Yeah.
And someone has to keep that business going.
Yeah, continue the generation, correct?
Yeah. So think about the wave of homes that's going to be coming in, hoping the interest rate get better, right? So when is a good time? Because I've been hearing this for the past 10, 20 years. Real estate market is going down, after the bubble in 05, 06, right?
We're not getting back that 3% again?
Oh my God. Don't want to get too political, but I think the new administration is really
Working
on dropping that. I think
because he is a business.
the 10-year bond went down to about 4%. So, I think we're about to hit a small recession, and then that will be able to, jumpstart the lowering of the interest rate. But you know what? My government is my business in my house and in my corporation. So I stay in my lane. So I'm hoping that this new administration, I know he will because he's a businessman, will be able to help.
He said he's doing it actually.
Oh man, I've seen a lot of investors or real estate entrepreneurs, lose a lot of money. And I'm one of them too. If you don't lose money in real estate, that means you haven't done any deals. The toughest people really make it to the top. And I definitely advise, if you've been in real estate not long enough, keep going.
What do you think is going to happen to commercial real estate, like those high-rise offices, like in downtown right here?
It's so empty. I know a lot of federal buildings are shutting down, right? There's lots of opportunity there for developers or people want to convert that. So really the state really needs to work with the developers on how we can convert these buildings. Definitely, I'm super excited for that because hey, we have housing crisis here in California. We need to convert these buildings. I am not in the development side, which we are getting into, but definitely I want to hear more positive transformation, because us doing the fix and flip business, we're transforming the older homes into a nicer home, right? Yeah. And hoping that the block will increase its value, and hoping that people want to buy turnkey properties. Then they don't want to deal with the work.
When you're raising capital, so basically I believe you're doing syndications, right? Like I believe we met at fund launch.
We did. We did.
Yeah. What do you think about real estate funds? And raising capital for the fund and investing that way?
So I really think the funds would really only work on the multifamily where there's really income generating from tenants, right?
Yeah.
The fix and flip side, raising capital or on that one, it can get risky, right? Especially in this kind of time. But I think it really works out for, big portfolios in the multifamily side, or even just doing a fix and flip on a commercial building. I got a buddy that's really focused on fix and flip on the commercial side, and he's doing very well. And his profits were like at 500 to $1 million every project.
Yeah, because in the funds, you have to give 80% of your profit to LPs.
Correct.
You're really making money on that 2% in managing fund.
Managing the fund, or maybe finding a deal, right?
Finding a deal, correct. Yeah. Because only have 20% left. But the way you described is basically you're paying only 10, 12%.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a better way than going actually the fund direction.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it just really depends what direction you want to go into. But our laser focus this year is really just opening up as not as many facilities, but get our residential facilities up and running.
And I believe it's another way of in the real estate is like what Airbnb management.
Definitely, the Airbnb had slowed down a bit. I felt like during the pandemic we were oversaturated with.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, I'm super excited for what is next on the short-term rental, mid-term rental, right? Because that's the really a big key factor of how to become successful on when you own rental properties.
What does your portfolio looks like now?
We are liquidating a lot of our out-of-state properties, and we're only keeping Southern California or California properties. Just because the appreciation in California is faster than out-of-state. We start buying in 2022, and I've seen the out-of-state growth, and then the California is just surpassing them, in like half the time, right?
Yeah.
I believe out of state, at least for my experience and other, coaches out there in real estate, I feel like out of state properties, are going 12 to 15 years, it doubles its value. In California, it's 7 to 8 years, or at least LA, it doubles its value in 7 to 8 years. And think about the price on out of state properties. You can buy a house for 100 grand, right? And it takes 10 to 15 years for it to double its value, right?
Yeah.
And then here you buy $1 million house, which is probably the average here. I gotta say, $800 to $1 million, the average here.
Yeah.
And it doubles its value in 7 to 8 years.
Yeah. I bought a house in 2014.
Okay, so 10 years.
Yeah, it was 1.25,
Okay,
and I put a 250,000 down payment,
okay. So your balance of 1 million.
3%.
Yeah.
Now I think the house worth 2.5. So it's double the value in 10 years. 250,000 gave me additional 1.25, so something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you got 1.5 million or more in equity.
But if I would invest that 250,000 in business, now at least in 10 years, I would make it worth 25 million or even higher.
But you're doing it right, because that requires work for you to build,
Yeah.
while your house,
Yeah, it's
you said you did
right, yeah.
zero work in the past 10 years.
Correct.
It's all about putting your eggs in different baskets.
Right.
Definitely own a property in California. You got to live in there. And then what you should have done is that 1.2 million, you should have taken money out of there
Yeah.
and invested on another property, either, buy a small fourplex. Tell me more about what you're doing on the home services side.
I have bootstrapped the company, as you know, there's no fundraising. I have grown first the service business and marketing lead gen and platform itself. So we are still growing it, and we are kind of moved to the M&A, mergers, acquisitions.
Yeah.
And we are going through a lot of deals, like whatever fits to our criteria. And if they don't fit it, we are basically doing, we have 20 private equity partners. We are
Yeah.
doing a deal sourcing for them, for the finder's fee. So basically I have 5 people in my M&A team doing the continuous deal sourcing in home services.
Trying to find
Yeah.
new businesses,
Trying to find
not new businesses, but acquiring new businesses.
acquiring a new businesses, like someone wants to exit and sell their HVAC, plumbing, electric, or any service companies like home cleaning, pool cleaning, pest control, whatever, right? Anything in home services we want to acquire, or we want to actually forward it to our private equity partners as a deal sourcing, and they're paying 9 to 12 multiplier because the market is really hot in private equity now.
What you're doing is brilliant, because we don't know this, but bigger corporations has been doing this for decades.
Yes.
Right? We don't see it because their acquisitions are on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
Right? But when you're acquiring $1 million company,
Yeah.
they could literally multiply your value.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because in the real estate, 1 + 1 is 2.
Correct.
But in business, 1 + 1 becomes
10.
Yes, it's math completely works different way, and of course you have some risk, high risk, high reward. But if you know what you're doing,
I think you gotta be built for being an entrepreneur.
yeah, if you have a good operator, right? You can actually combine and buy those businesses, merge them together, and I think real wealth is generated on business.
Correct.
and acquisitions, on M&A, because on arbitrage.
Yeah.
But sustainability is in real estate.
Yeah.
Like when you diversify and you keep the money and it going on as you expire.
Yes,
right?
yes, yeah.
That's, you have to use a real estate to diversify and keeping it
100%.
safer. I think the home service still anti-crisis proof.
It's a recession proof.
Yes. COVID already showed that, right? Like
Homeowner, yeah, either the landlord got to get it fixed, or the owner of the house got to get it fixed if you live there.
I believe like people use their 33% of their earnings in the house. It can be like a mortgage or rent, like utilities,
or Home Depot purchases.
Yeah. 1/3 of whatever we generate, we kind of spend in the house.
And that's the American dream, right?
Yes.
Owning a house and making sure your house will increase its value so you could use it to retire, and be safe, or give it to your kids, right?
Yeah.
I told my kids they're not gonna own. Maybe my daughter will own it. My son is here, by the way. So I got an 8-year-old son, and I keep telling him, you are not gonna own any of our properties. You're gonna have to own your own, or earn it, right?
Oh, are you teaching your kids about business or about real estate? Are you doing anything about it?
Don't get me started on this one, because I got a long conversation we can be in here. I think this new generation now is gonna be so difficult for us to really teach a lesson, because when we grew up, we've learned lessons the hard way. But because we did not get that from our, the good things from our parents, which that's a good side of it. We're giving our kids too much, right? And then we're being so lenient with our kids. I'm still kind of hard on my son, because I want him to be strong and be able to learn faster. So I teach him about money. I teach him about responsibility. He goes to a lot of my events. When I had an event, I spoke in front of like 300-400 people, I bring him to the stage, make sure he gets the feel of it, just giving him the confidence. And I'm super excited, because little by little he's learning, one, about money. And I keep telling him that, don't let money run you, because you can make mistakes if you pick money over your habits and your character, right? So it's very important when you teach your kids about money and business, you gotta teach them character, right? And what's your goals and your vision, right? And doing the right thing.
It's not about just giving them the real estate or the money. It's, I think, about like educating them and teaching them. I think it has more value. They can earn themselves. That's more sustainable. Teach the fisherman to fish instead of giving him fish.
I think when I got started in real estate, or just being an entrepreneur, I was selfish because I wanted to be successful. But when I start seeing my kids grow up, I want them to see, what it is to be an entrepreneur, what it is, what it takes for you to go to school and make sure you get good grades. And, if you finish college, that's all I ask from them. I really think, the younger generation now, they just want, social media, fast money. I think that's great. I don't think they see the value of hard work and failing and then getting back up, when it's time to get back up, right?
One thing we have to actually grow in our kids and the new generation is the grit, not giving up, right? Like never give up.
I mean, if you get punched, it's okay to cry. I mean, just because I had a bad day, and I know tomorrow is going to be better, and that's what my wife kind of pushes me, right? I mean, I see my kids, and like, I have to get up, right?
What the thing is, what lesson you're learning from that?
How can I be better tomorrow, right? I believe these younger generation will figure it out. I really think they'll figure out. If it ain't hard work, they'll figure out how it will make it work for them, the right way.
Definitely. On the real estate, what was your best deal?
I think they're all, a lot of them were good deals, right? If in the fix and flip side, if you make money from $25,000 to $200,000, that's a good deal. I've seen a lot of negatives in real estate flipping in the past couple of years. Other people.
But you haven't lost money.
Oh, we've lost money.
You have lost money.
We've lost money.
Tell me about your worst deal, and if you could basically go back and undo one of those deals would be which one and why and what went wrong?
One of my deals that I picked up in LA, it was the biggest house in the block.
I can already see
Yes,
that.
we are forcing the value when the trend is half of that square footage, right? We lost money in that deal. It's in six figures. We've learned a lot. We communicated to our investors about this, and we're
Can you tell me the details of the deal? So basically, how big was the deal?
so we bought the property.
I want to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah. So we bought the property. It's 3,800 square feet house.
How much you bought it for?
You bought it for 970.
And how much money you put it?
We put $300,000 there.
And how much improvements you did?
And we did full on rehab on the house. 3,800 square feet, 7-bedroom house. It's luxury. And the houses in the area are between 1,500 and 2,000.
You're basically raising your entire neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly. But we are very unique because we're the only house with 4,000, close to 4,000 square feet home.
Yeah.
So we were forcing the value to be at $2 million because, 1,500 square feet homes are selling for 1.2 to 1.3 million, right?
Yeah.
So with the square footage, we wanted to sell it for 2 million. Long story short, we ended up selling the house for 1.41 million.
Wow.
Nobody would want to buy double the square footage in that street.
How much your investors lost?
It's in six figures. We've negotiated a term with our investors.
So investors would lose money or they would break even?
We made a deal with our investors that we'll be paying you back, in payment plan.
Got it.
Everybody works hard for their money, right?
Yeah.
9 to 5, some of them are their life savings sometimes, So we made a deal with them and we told them, hey, we're going to be paying you back in the next 1 year of your money. It's a law of averages, right?
Yeah, because you still have to go back to the same investors and raise capital. Maybe,
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
Correct. So we want to be able to keep them as our investors.
Yeah.
In the same time, we want to continue with our real estate because, it's a law of average. You'll make money on some deals. You'll lose money on some. Hopefully, 1 or 2 deals out of 10.
Yeah.
Is what you're gonna lose money on, right?
I think the fundraising, other people's money is a relationship, and it's not transactional. Like once you raise capital, you want to go back to the same investors and be able to raise more capital.
Correct.
A lot of people think when you get money from one, you think you can go back. You're not going to go back to the same investor. You can actually raise capital from one. No, it's not the best. It's the best way is actually go back to the same investor.
Because they know more people that wants to invest, right?
Yeah.
And you don't even know sometimes a lot of them have more money what they tell you they have.
Yeah. First they want to give out like small pieces.
They tell you they have.
Test you out.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
So where you can put money? Real estate, gold, stocks, Bitcoin,
Crypto.
or business. What else? Or savings, bonds.
I would definitely put it on real estate side, owning a rental property or owning an apartment building.
If someone has extra money,
Spread them out.
spread them out, right? I think
Spread them out.
is best.
I would put money on stocks, the high performing stocks. I would put money on Bitcoin. I truly believe the Bitcoin is going to be our future currency.
Yeah.
If not, it's going to be side by side with the US dollar. And then obviously owning a real estate, right? The safe way, passive way.
Yeah.
And then focus on, healthcare, because, that's what we're focusing on is healthcare. Why healthcare? Is because top paying professionals are in healthcare, right?
Yeah.
That means that regardless of what's going to happen,
You're maintaining the human body and health.
we got to take care of people.
Yeah.
And that's our lifeblood of the world, right? Taking care of our health. So I think real estate and healthcare will always going to be the top, highest and safest way to invest their money.
How can you invest in healthcare?
So healthcare is what we're doing is the residential facility side.
Yeah.
Taking care of the older folks.
How do you call that?
It's a care home.
Care home?
You're taking care of people inside your home. It could be the elderly. It could be the mentally disabled adults. It could be the foster care kids.
Yeah.
right? It could be anything, the drug and alcohol abuse. Just taking care of people the right way is the next generation of the real estate and the operational part.
Yeah.
But the healthcare business is a big, big business.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm super excited to open up our first one. It's going to be in Marietta. We bought an 11-acre property, over 3,000 square feet home. And this is going to be our drug rehab detox center.
Are you raising capital for that?
So yes, we are raising capital on that one.
Yeah.
If you guys can follow me on Instagram, Jason SoCal Investor. We can kind of talk more about the investment opportunity.
Tell me why you went out of the business and got to the real estate. Like, I believe you owned a few restaurants before.
Yeah, I owned a couple of restaurants. I did not see myself working in a restaurant for the next 10, 20 years. Because when you go to a mom and pop shop, grandma and mom still
How
working
big
there.
was your restaurant?
Oh, we had about 2,000 square feet.
How much was your annual revenue?
During the pandemic, we landed a contract with LA County, and we were feeding low-income seniors. And we were delivering food to their house every single day or every other day.
Mm-hmm.
While other restaurants during the pandemic were closing down and shutting down, we were running an operation while we're closed. We hired few people. We did very well during the pandemic. So I think we hit about $2 million on our.
Why you closed down? Why you couldn't just sell it?
A lot of restaurants were kind of closing down in the same.
How the restaurant business is priced?
We had to sell our restaurant. We waited a year or two before we wanted to sell it.
Got it.
I should have sold it when we had our peak at the market, right?
Yes.
So once again, lesson learned on that one. But we ended up closing down that restaurant because we were doing, a lot of projects in real estate. So, we were, generating more income.
So basically your focus shift.
My focus shift from owning a restaurant because I already knew in 2022 that the restaurant industry will be very, very difficult.
Yeah.
At that point, we went transition from 2022 full-time in real estate and would never look back ever since.
God, it makes sense.
I love the real estate because we were, we had our time. It's just fun doing real estate because every day is different.
What do you think? What generates money faster? Successful flip or business or startup?
I think you should do both, right? If you're going to start a business, the operational, you should own the real estate where you're operating.
Oh, like McDonald's.
Just like McDonald's, just like Amazon,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Now we are doing a virtual merger on car body shops. We're basically consolidating the car body shops together as a merger, and at the same time, they don't own the land.
But think about it. You're doing a great business model. Let me tell you why. If they need help to fix their house,
Yeah.
they're going to need help fixing their car, right? Especially when they live in a suburb, they probably have like 2, 3, 4 cars, right?
Right.
If they live in a city, they'll probably have only one car. But
Yeah.
I think it's a really good business model. Tell me more about that.
You know my mergers acquisition in the home services, where we are buying either portfolio companies or tuck-in companies. Now we are actually, one of the things we are doing with one of my partner is virtual merger. Virtual merger, when you don't have to buy the business, you're agreeing with the business owner to go to the group, to the holding company together to be able to sell it to the private equity company. So when they agree to the virtual merger, they're agreeing that they're going to be going to the same system,
Yep.
meaning same CRM, same HR, same marketing, same accounting platform. So they're going to be accepting all of those business fundamentals to one business operation system, so it's easier to merge them together.
It's a proven track record for you guys if they use
Yes,
you.
if they sell themselves one body shop, you can probably get at like 2.5x in the net profits.
It's really good.
But when you are going to the group, now you're getting it on 12x or maybe even higher,
Exactly.
depending on how many body shops we can put together.
So that's the normal evaluation on business, right? 2 to 2.5x
2.5 when you are single business
by yourself.
by yourself. But when you put 10 of them together, that multiplier goes up to like 6. If you can put like 30, 50 of them, multiplier can go up to like 10 to 12. If you can put hundreds of them together, now you're talking about the 70 to 20x. Now the real private equity companies are interested
Correct.
to buying it out. But the art is, how can you actually merge them properly
Without having, yeah.
without collapsing the business, and actually it can continue running and growing together? That's kind of a thing.
I kind of already see what you're talking about when a mom and pop
Yeah.
is set with their ways,
Yes.
and now they gotta adapt to the new way.
Yeah.
It could collapse.
If you don't do it properly, but it's going to take 2 years. We're going to be educating those mom and pop business owners how to synergetically work in the same system, the similar system what the private equity wants.
Why can't we pitch that to a lot of these companies that are ready to retire?
Yeah, definitely. In the home care nursing facilities, like you can have there are a lot of home cares in the town, right? Like probably they're doing 1 million, maybe 2 million. Actually, how can we consolidate those together on the same system? Because each of them, they have to learn or come up with their own HR, whatever systems, job descriptions, accounting.
They're run
marketing.
privately on each one of them. They don't.
They don't really have that kind of a management system teaching them and bringing one system. But if you can consolidate all hiring, recruitment in one place, all accounting,
Sales in one place.
Sales in
One is
place.
marketing.
Yeah, that sales is responsible to fulfill all of those home cares.
Because now you're all sharing the same
Resources.
customers.
Correct.
And clients.
Correct. Same resources. That you make that system much efficient, and all of them can grow much faster.
So I need to talk to you when we have our multiple facilities up
Yes.
and running. You'll be worth a lot more
Correct.
if we decide to sell.
Yes.
And we'll just keep the real estate.
Yes, definitely, because all of those real estate actually can go to another holding company.
Yes. Yeah.
You can combine separately the operational company in one holding company,
Correct.
and the real estate under another holding company.
That's why we got everything set up for our residential facilities.
Yeah.
Our real estate is owned by a holding company.
Yeah.
In real estate, it depends on really what you want to get out of this. If you want to invest passively, real estate is good for you. But if you want to be able to grow this business by yourself, scalability is always great for operational side.
Business can sell in 10x multiplier, but a lot of investors still favor real estate because business is high risk, high reward. A lot of investors, because they're already in the stage of stability, not losing money, they prefer real estate. But I think for the investor, I think they have to diversify. They don't have to put all of the 100% of the money. They can put 10-20% of the money in the business,
Operational
business, but other 10-20%, whatever the money they can put in real estate. Like by diversifying, you can feel and test. But first you have to find out good operator who can you trust and who can bring you high multiplier, who can actually bring you back your money. Instead of starting your own business, you can buy a franchise. That because they're giving you a proven system.
Correct.
It's much easier, faster, and low risk. The risk kind of goes lower, but you have to split and share you have to pay royalty, like 7% or whatever.
That's fine because it's a proven success, right?
Correct.
It's already working for you.
Yeah.
And if you have operators that's already winning, and I think that's the best way to do it if you do want to get into that.
Because that's how we came. Because a lot of people start coming and asking me, Sardor, can I license your business? Can I learn from you? Like I want to open in Canada, I want to open in Dubai, I want to open in Latin America.
Yeah.
I said like, no, we're not opening anything. I was saying no. Then eventually we came and said, you know what? Actually, maybe I should franchise. I should license it. Now we are open up for the franchise and licensing. We are doing franchise in US and we are doing licensing overseas. And what we did is we have a proven system. We already have over 100 locations nationwide.
Yes, nice.
And it's proven system. We are managing hundreds and thousands of contractors. It works. For us, it's really easy to deploy and copy our systems in any city right away, right? So that's why we came up with a franchise model.
I think that's a great idea. Just because when we were younger, our parents' generation, right? The only franchise you can do is the food industry.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Now, I feel like going out to eat is a luxury
Yeah.
for the middle class And for the majority of the Americans, man, when I go out to eat, with my whole family 4 or 5 years ago, $20-$30 is normal.
Franchise of the food industry are buying a brand. But in franchise of home services, it's not about the brand. It's about the systems. It's about systems, about marketing.
Correct.
Because people are not brand loyal in home services. Because it's kind of a towing. It's kind of a tire shop, right? You only need that
when you need them.
It happens. You don't want to remember that brand. So that's why franchise of home services is not about the brand. It's about the systems. It's about marketing, how you can do the lead generation. Correct. That's where we come. We are actually sharing all of the knowledge we accumulated for the last 15 years. We are giving it to franchisee. And the payback, it costs like 40, 60, 80,000. The beginning, like bronze, silver, and gold packages. You can get it $40,000. The payback is 12 months.
So you're saying that what you're doing is all about the branding as well, right?
We do the branding, but it's not just about the branding in home services. It's about the systems.
That reminds them.
Otherwise, like, you can start your own home service company, but what about the systems? It's going to take you like 5 years to accumulate those systems, or 10 years until you fine-tune that. We already fine-tuned it for 10, 15 years, how to operate home services. And we actually became a platform. We are basically now sharing those business systems like funnels, the scripts, accounting systems, to recruiting, hiring, onboarding, all of the support, the quality assurance. We are sharing all of the systems with our franchisees and licensees.
I truly believe as well that the systems are very important, because if you don't have a systems on your business on the first 2 years, you're guaranteed to fail.
And I think it's like, 80, 90% of the business startups fail within 1 year?
2 years.
Yeah. Then there is another statistics. 96% of the businesses, they don't reach over $1 million. Only 4% of the businesses go beyond the $1 million revenue.
And I think it has to do with the old school mentality of, the cash business and the credit card, right? The credit card you cannot hide.
We don't accept cash at all. We only accept credit cards or checks, right? Because we don't want any gray areas of the business.
Yes.
Everything is transparent.
And you need that revenue, every single one of them.
Correct.
So you can get your value of your business.
Definitely. We're not hiding anything. We're not all my team knows all my numbers. So everything is transparent. We are running almost like a stock market company.
Correct.
Everything is transparent.
You gotta do it the right way.
Eventually, when you get to the IPO, you're gonna have to open up your books. Anyway, so why not open up now? Right?
Open up now and start recording.
Correct.
For sure.
Hey guys, my name is Sardor Umrdinov, and I'm going to be talking a lot about business, how to scale. If you need help with buying a business, scaling a business, growing a business, exiting a business, just reach out to me, follow me. You can find me on Instagram, SardorUM. You can DM me. I'm going to answer all of your questions. You're going to be finding a lot of videos out there, a lot of tricks about a business. Reach out to me.
What is the top 3 advice I could give to someone that wants to start, get into real estate, right? I think the number 1 would be the growth that you need to be getting ready to become an entrepreneur. Reading books, finding a mentor that'll be able to help you, what to do and what not to do. Personal growth has been very important to any entrepreneur. So I truly believe personal growth is 1. And then second, you gotta be really good with money. If you don't know how to manage money, then you won't succeed in real estate. And then third, finding the deal is very important. So if you get good at finding the right deal, I think you'll be successful in real estate, hands down.
If I would give 3 advice to younger Sardor who's starting a business, those would be, if you don't have a money to start a business, go and work in a smaller company and learn the business and become the right hand. And learn all of the business processes, earn the money, and talk to your boss, and to open up a second location and give you the partnership opportunity on that second business or the next location, right? Once you save the money, if you don't get that opportunity, once you save the money, then just buy the franchise. Buy a franchise, similar business, because in the franchise you are getting all of the business processes. It's much faster to grow. And the third one would be learn how to merge businesses together, so you can actually like play the arbitrage game later, right? Like I would actually do it on step by step. On the first one is Andrew Carnegie. He was a business assistant of Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
He was next to one of the biggest entrepreneurs of that time. Like when you are next to great entrepreneur, you're going to become one. You're going to learn.
It's guaranteed.
It's guaranteed, right? You have to just follow that visionary, follow that big, good mentor, find a mentor, and be loyal. Work over there, learn. Once you learn it, then opportunity will come itself.
Yes.
Because like we cannot do all things ourselves and keep for ourselves. Eventually, we're going to have to share. We're going to have to step back. We're going to be giving out. And in order for us to get a freedom, actually, it's not about earning 100% of the business. It's about earning a 10-20% of hundreds of businesses, right? Like that's where you're going to have an opportunity of owning the piece of that business and running it together. And eventually you're going to become the similar investor stage when you can actually grow those businesses and have mentees helping you and supporting you and growing those businesses together.
Makes me want to open up a home service business now, huh?
Definitely.
We got to collaborate. I think you're doing big things, man. I'm super excited. I've seen you grow your business in the past couple of years, and now I can't wait to see in the next 5 years for you.
Definitely. Thanks.
What is AI helping your business?
We are really advanced, and we are pushing AI in the company a lot. I mandate every single employee in the company to use AI. I don't think people are going to be replaced by AI, but the people are going to be replaced by the people who use AI. So if you're not using AI, you're going to be replaced by someone who does.
So you're talking about AI from sales, accounting, marketing, systems.
Yes, definitely.
Whatever department you're at,
Definitely.
you need to use an application, a website, a program that helps your department with AI.
Definitely. Look, it used to be last decade was about outsourcing, using cheaper labor overseas, but it's no longer. Like utilizing cheaper labor from Uzbekistan or like Philippines
or Mexico.
Or Latam. It's no longer active. It's like utilizing, having smarter people who can use AI. That's the trend now. Because we no longer need developers.
Yes.
We need developers or architecture who can utilize AI tools and combine and merge them together. Because AI can code better than the person.
Yeah.
The juniors, developers are going to go away. Accountants, bookkeepers, they're going to go away because AI can do that job. The call center, customer support, it's going to go away because AI can do that job. Recruiters, everything, like every single content writers, everything is going to go away. There is a huge shift going on now. Either you're adapting or learning AI or you're going to be behind.
Yes.
So in our company, what we have is we are giving everyone all of the tools. You can buy any AI tool you want, subscription, you can sign up as long as it's your job related.
Correct.
And you should do that. If you're not, soon you're going to be replaced by someone who's going to do that.
You made a good point there, because if you're a VA, if we have a staff out of the country, and if they just know how to utilize AI, they never have to call you and ask for questions.
Definitely. Look, my ChatGPT knows more about me than even my wife probably.
Correct. Yeah.
If you ask any question, like the ChatGPT will answer.
They know everything what you're doing.
When the ChatGPT came up, I fired 3 virtual assistants of my personal assistant. I fired them because I no longer need them. Because ChatGPT can do that much faster.
Right way.
Then I have to explain my VAs what I want from them. And same months we let go like 50 content writers. We give them a servants. They were in Philippines. We like, guys, go and learn ChatGPT, come back so you can write faster content. They didn't come back. People don't want to. People are too comfortable. They don't want to change. Like whoever understands, we are teaching them. We have a whole company trainings for the AI and ChatGPTs. And I think it's the times are changing, and we no longer need much of a production level people anymore, because production can be produced by AI. And But at the home service, actually, it's hard to replace with AI.
Yeah. You need the technician.
It's a lot of moving parts. That's why I think the home service is not going away, and the wages or the commission or earnings of the home service trade people is going to be going up.
You don't think we will have robots fixing some pipes?
No, because like how they can go under the slab and predictably.
Yeah.
It's like they can use, those plumbers can use some tools to make it faster, automate a lot of things, but the human still has to come and take care of it. They're just going to be earning more.
Yeah.
They're just going to be earning more by using tools, because all other tools, all other skills going to be utilized, outsourced, or like AI is going to be taking over. But that labor is going to be actually going up on rate.
That's the worth of investing, on your own home service business with a franchise, right?
Yeah.
So that's essentially what, people are looking for if they want to start their own business. If I get to start all over again and I only have $10,000, what would I do with the knowledge that I have now? With the wholesaling side, I've assigned and made money, 10, 20, 30, $57,000. So if I get to start all over again and I only got $10,000, I would put that on a marketing strategy that what we do. And, with the wholesaling of the real estate, last month, I just closed a deal, actually 2 weeks ago. I closed a deal of $57,000, just one deal. I got a seller under contract and then sold it to an investor. And then I made $57,000 on just one deal.
So can you do that with 10,000?
That 10,000 will obviously, you can use some marketing because I buy leads.
Yeah.
It's already happening to me because I shifted my business model from fix and flip last year to wholesaling this year. And I think this year we've closed 7 wholesale deals, close to $150,000 in assignment fees in commission. So I think, starting all over again with $10,000, I think all I need is $1,000 to get me on my first deal.
If I didn't have my knowledge, then I would spend that.
Different.
I would spend that 10,000 to acquire the knowledge.
Get a mentorship.
Or get like whatever the class and courses to get the same
Correct.
knowledge. But if I already have the knowledge and I have 10,000, that's all, then of course I would test few $100s up to $1,000 to find out the funnel, what works. I would basically spend $1 or $10, $100 to find out what is my lead generation, what is my customer acquisition cost. And I would calculate the job acquisition cost in different verticals. And I would find out what is my average ticket. And I would calculate my ROAS. And I would basically calculate arbitrage, how much I can make a difference on any vertical by selling leads. And I would play the arbitrage game. I would put all of the rest of my $1,000 or $10,000, and I would multiply it 5x or 6x, and I would earn double my money, 20,000, by hiring the contractor on any field.
If you had $10,000 and then you can buy a home service business with creative financing, with seller finance.
It's too risky. It's for $10,000. I would not do that.
Okay.
You're still gonna need working capital. Yes. If you buy whatever the business, home services, it's gonna be really hard with owner financing to do it. You're gonna have to have some closing capital.
I hear a lot of stories of.
But you don't hear a lot of stories like when they fail.
No, but I hear a lot of stories of people ready to retire and they're just giving away their business to somebody else.
It is. Yes, you can take over the baby boomers business it's an owner financing, 5%, whatever you pay it off within 5 years,
and then maybe come up with a great term where I don't have to pay you anything upfront.
Yes,
and then maybe pay you after 1 year when everything is up and running. After
then if you want to go that direction, of course, then I would do the same thing as you are suggesting. I would spend that $10,000 on lead generation of
Correct.
I would do the email outreach. I would do outbound. I would do direct mail. I would do LinkedIn outreach for the home service businesses. And then I should actually be ready to move to that state and actually take care of that business, because it's going to be really hard to virtually run the business.
I have a big question. Can you wholesale a business?
Yeah, you can wholesale business.
Okay.
Yeah, look. That's what we are doing.
You're acquiring.
Yes, that's what we are doing with our A to Z Capital Advisors. We are doing lead sourcing and doing a finder's fee at the moment. But since they're willing to pay 9 to 12x, but here we're going to be discussing. We can buy them for 3x.
Yes.
And resell it for 9x.
That's another way for you to make money, right? Start all over is acquire businesses and sell paper.
Yeah. Because when I was giving that advice, it would be someone who's not sophisticated. But if I would actually, you know what? For $10,000, I would do this basically lead sourcing for private equity companies, and actually even charge them $5,000-$10,000 a retainer as well. For bringing in the deals, and that's why, and they're ready to pay that money.
There's no way for you not to make money on these times.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, if you work for somebody and then you lose your job, it will be very difficult to find the same or better position, right?
Yeah.
But being an entrepreneur, there's lots of opportunities across the board, whichever side you want to be on, the operational business side, or even just, either fix and flip or owning rental properties. There's a lot of opportunity, even on stock market and in the crypto. And I mean, opportunity is endless here in America.
What would you do if you were not in America? Let's say you lose everything and you've been dropped to like Africa or China. Could you do what you do there?
I think success is transferable.
Yeah.
You can put me anywhere. My mindset is already different to find opportunities to make money, right? Yeah. And especially when you have kids, every day is an emergency.
Yeah.
So if you're not making money today or this month, you look at your kids, be like,
if I was in a similar situation, what I ask you, like, it doesn't matter where,
anywhere, but
I would still actually be there, but I would still serve U.S. market.
The majority of the consumers are coming from the U.S.
It's the biggest economy is U.S. Yes. Jason, it was a really incredible conversation having you here talking about investment, business, the trades, what is happening, right? Like, it was really interesting. Hopefully everyone liked it.
Always enjoyed our conversation every time we see each other. I know we don't see each other often, but when we do see each other on events, it's like we catch up like that. So I'll be happy again if you have your 100th episode. Okay, I'd love to be here. I see you all the time on social media. I love seeing your success. And if you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. To me, man, congratulations to you. Thanks for having me here. And definitely we'll talk more on the home services side, and we can talk more on the real estate side too.
Definitely.
Okay, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.